Hi, I'm Walter. I design buildings that people actually want to live and work in. Been doing it for 12 years now, and I'm pretty damn good at it. What I'm not good at, standing up to my mother. I tossed my suitcase on the bed, exhausted from the red-eye flight back from Chicago. The house felt weirdly empty. Eliza, I'm home. Nothing. Weird. Eliza usually worked from home on Fridays. I checked my phone, no messages. That's when I saw the envelope on the nightstand, divorce papers. My stomach dropped to my feet. What the hell? I flipped through the pages, seeing Eliza's signature on every dotted line. 2 years of marriage just done, without even a conversation? I immediately called her cell, straight to voicemail. I tried again, same result. My next call was to Margaret, my mother. If anyone knew what was happening, she would. Walter, darling, you're back. How was Chicago? Where's Eliza? A pause. Oh, she didn't tell you before you left. How inconsiderate. Tell me what? Mom, what's going on? She came to me a few days ago, quite upset, said she'd been unhappy for months. The poor girl couldn't bear to tell you in person. I helped her find a lawyer. I gripped the phone tighter. You what? Don't use that tone with me. I was simply helping her do what she wanted. You know I never thought she was right for you, but I respected her decision. That was bullshit. Margaret had been trying to break us up since day one. Eliza was beneath our social standing, according to her. This doesn't make sense. We were fine before I left. We were talking about having kids. People change their minds, dear. You'll find someone more suitable. I drove straight to my mother's house. Her housekeeper, Rosa, let me in with a sympathetic look. Margaret, we need to talk, now. She emerged from her study looking perfectly composed in her designer outfit. There's no need to shout. Did you pressure Eliza into this? Don't be ridiculous. She came to me. That's not what I asked. I simply helped her do what she already wanted to do. While Margaret fixed herself a drink, her phone buzzed on the counter. I shouldn't have looked, but I did. A text from someone named Rex. All taken care of. The girl signed everything. Payment received. My blood went cold. When Margaret stepped away to answer the doorbell, I quickly scrolled through more messages. Find anything we can use against her. Her father is the key. She'll sign if she knows what's good for her family. I took photos of the text with my phone, my hands shaking with rage. What are you doing? Margaret stood in the doorway, eyes narrowed. Nothing. I need to go. I left without another word, my mind racing. This wasn't Eliza's choice. My mother had somehow forced her into this. And who the hell was Rex? I needed answers, and I knew exactly where to start looking for them. I drove straight to Eliza's best friend Tanya's apartment. My hands were shaking as I rang the doorbell repeatedly. Jesus Christ, I'm coming. Tanya swung the door open, her expression shifting from annoyed to ice cold. Oh, it's you. I need to see my wife. Ex-wife, from what I hear. That's not, look, is she here or not? Why should I tell you anything? Because whatever she thinks happened, whatever she was told, it's not true. My mother did something. I have proof. After a long stare down, she stepped aside. I found Eliza sitting on the couch, eyes puffy from crying. What are you doing here, Walter? I showed her the screenshots of Margaret's texts. Did she threaten you? What did she say about your family? Your mother hired a private investigator. She said if I didn't sign the papers, she'd use what she found to destroy my father. What could possibly be so bad? She had evidence he accepted bribes as a judge. It would ruin him, Walter. He'd lose everything, his reputation, maybe even go to prison. Is it true? Of course not. But she had documents, photos, bank statements, all fake but convincing. I'm so sorry, Eliza. I had no idea, and she told you I wanted the divorce too? That you were too cowardly to say it yourself? That's complete bullshit. I love you. I've always loved you. Next morning, I tracked down this Rex character. His office was above a bail bonds place downtown. I don't discuss clients. He barely looked up from his computer. I slammed the door. My mother, Margaret Winters, ring a bell? I don't know what. Cut the crap. I've seen your texts. Tell me everything or I'll report you to the PI licensing board for fabricating evidence. His face paled. Who says I fabricated anything? My wife says the evidence against her father is fake, so either you're incredibly bad at your job or you're committing fraud. After some back and forth, Rex finally cracked. Your mother paid me to find something, anything on Judge Harrington. When I couldn't find anything legitimate, she suggested alternatives. And you just went along with it? She paid triple my usual rate. Rex admitted Margaret had been having him follow us for months, looking for weaknesses in our marriage. That night, I waited until Margaret was at her weekly bridge game before sneaking into her house using my old key. In her study, I found a locked drawer in her desk. Took some work, but I managed to pick it open. Inside was a thick folder labeled Harrington. My hands froze as I opened it. There was Eliza's father's photo paper-clipped to court documents from 15 years ago. Holy shit. I flipped through the court documents with shaking hands. 15 years ago, Judge James Harrington had presided over a lawsuit against my mother's real estate development company. He'd ruled against her, awarding millions in damages to the plaintiffs, effectively bankrupting her first business. Son of a bitch, I whispered. This wasn't about me or Eliza at all. This was Margaret's twisted revenge against Judge Harrington, through his daughter. She'd spent 2 years plotting this, waiting for the perfect moment. I photographed everything and drove straight to Tanya's apartment. Eliza answered the door this time. We need to talk. I showed her the photos of the documents. Did you know about this? Your dad ruled against my mother years ago. Her eyes widened. That's what this is about? Some old court case? He bankrupted her first company. She lost everything and had to start over. This whole thing, our marriage, the divorce, it was all her sick revenge plan against your father. That's insane. We've been married for 2 years. Think about it. She introduced us at that charity gala. She acted like she randomly knew you. Eliza sank onto the couch. I remember. She seemed so friendly, said her son was too shy to introduce himself. She'd been planning it from the beginning. Marry us off, then destroy our marriage in the most painful way possible, all to get back at your father. Tanya emerged from her bedroom. That's some soap opera shit right there. We need to stop her, Eliza said. I called my colleague Dan, who dealt with his own share of family drama. He arrived an hour later. You sure about this? Dan asked after I explained everything. Your mom's got serious connections in this town, all built on lies and manipulation. It's time everyone saw who she really is. We spent hours devising a plan. Tanya suggested recording Margaret confessing. Dan proposed something more public. Her annual charity gala is next week, I said. Everyone who matters in this city will be there. Including my father, Eliza added. He always attends. The next morning, my phone rang. Margaret, darling, where have you been? I've been worried sick. Just needed some time to process everything. Of course. Why don't you come over for dinner tonight? We need to discuss your future. At her house, Margaret was all sympathy and concern. I know this is difficult, but it's for the best. Eliza wasn't right for you. Maybe you're right. I forced myself to look defeated. I found some interesting documents in your study, by the way. Her face went white. You were in my study? How dare you? Looking for my birth certificate, found something else instead, something about Judge Harrington? That's private business. Is it? Or is it the real reason you made Eliza sign those divorce papers? Margaret's eyes narrowed. I don't know what you think you know. I know everything, Mother. Every last detail. Later that night, I watched through binoculars as Margaret returned to her study and frantically emptied the drawer. Too late. I already had what I needed. The trap was set. The gala was in 3 days, and everyone would finally see the real Margaret Winters. The night of the gala arrived. Eliza and I entered separately. She looked stunning in a blue dress while I wore the tux Margaret had insisted on buying me. Margaret spotted me immediately. Walter, so glad you made it. There are several lovely ladies I want you to meet. Maybe later, Mother. The ballroom was packed with the city's elite. Tanya was working the room while Dan manned the AV system. I spotted Judge Harrington across the room, completely unaware of what was coming. At 9 p.m., Margaret took the stage for her annual speech. Welcome, friends. Your generosity tonight will help underprivileged children across our city. As you know, family values have always been my... I stepped onto the stage beside her. Speaking of family values, Mother, I have something to share. Her smile froze. Walter, this isn't the time. It's exactly the time. Everyone here thinks they know Margaret Winters. Let me introduce you to the real Margaret. Dan hit the button. The screens lit up with Rex's signed affidavit and photos of the fake evidence against Judge Harrington. My mother orchestrated my entire marriage to Eliza Harrington as revenge against her father, who ruled against Mom in court 15 years ago. When she was done using us, she blackmailed my wife with fake evidence. Gasps echoed through the crowd. Margaret grabbed for the microphone. This is absurd. Walter is clearly having some kind of breakdown. Am I? Rex, would you like to share what you told me? Rex stepped forward. Everything he's saying is true. Mrs. Winters paid me to fabricate evidence against Judge Harrington. Judge Harrington pushed his way to the stage, furious. Is this true, Margaret? You used my daughter as a pawn in some sick game? James, I can explain. Explain blackmailing my daughter, threatening my career with fake evidence? Margaret turned to the crowd, desperate. These are all lies. Her best friend Vivian stepped forward. I've heard enough, Margaret. You've gone too far this time. One by one, her society friends turned their backs. 2 weeks later, the state revoked Margaret's real estate license based on Rex's testimony. Our divorce was annulled based on fraud. Eliza and I sat on the porch of our new house, miles from Margaret's neighborhood. Any regrets? Eliza asked. Only that I didn't see through her sooner. Your dad coming over for dinner next week? He's bringing his famous lasagna, says it's the least he can do for his hero son-in-law. I'm no hero, just a guy who finally stood up to his toxic mother. I heard she's moving to Arizona. Fresh start. Good for her, but she's not our problem anymore. We watched the sunset, finally free from Margaret's shadow. Some people never change, but that doesn't mean you have to keep them in your life. What would you do if you discovered a parent had deliberately sabotaged your marriage for their own revenge? Would you expose them publicly like Walter did, handle it privately, or try to forgive them? There's no easy answer when it comes to toxic family members. Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this revenge story, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories about standing up to toxic people. New videos every day.